is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Optimize You. We are the podcast helping you optimize every single area of your life and strive towards the best version of yourself every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you're new to the podcast, first off, welcome. We are so excited to have you here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our future podcast episodes. And then if you aren't new and you enjoy the podcast, all we ask is that you share it with a friend, family member, coworker, whoever it is. Try to pass this information along, help other people, help us grow. That's all we ask. And hopefully you don't hear the guy who is weed whipping outside my door. It's just kind of poor timing, I guess. But we'll have to work through it. It is what it is. And today I'm just going to talk about my life. So last week I started my new job. I'm still nutrition coaching in a limited capacity. Just have a smaller amount of clients, kind of doing it more on the side. It's still a high priority in my life, but I've lost the passion for it a little bit when it was the main thing, when it was the only thing that I was doing. Became a lot more stressful, fell back into a lot of vices, kind of had a lot more low points, and realized that, you know what, I don't really want it to be the main thing anymore for now. I want to try to find something else that fulfills me and, have it be something that because I still love doing it. So have it be something that I'm still doing and helping people and, helping change people's lives. But at the same time, I started a sales job, just selling. It's a remodeling company, selling exterior of housing, really amazing company, awesome culture, really challenging role. It's going to be, I know, very difficult, but I'm excited just after week one to kind of see where this takes me and to continue also doing the podcast and working with some people, nutrition coaching on the side and doing that, which has, has been a lot more enjoyable just ever since even I accepted that job. It's taken a load off my shoulders, been a lot less stressful. And really, I've talked about this a few times recently, but I've just really, the last few months have been some of the best months of my life. I've started to really figure things out. I feel like, not that there's going to be setbacks, right? I know that. I've talked about that. The 2 steps forward, 1 step back mentality, continuing to push forward. But it's been really nice to just keep that kindness top of mind. And also, like, one of the new things that I'm really, really, really trying to do, I'm somebody who, I don't know if anybody else out there can relate. I'm somebody who my mind tends to go towards that worst case scenario, right? I think that a lot of us do struggle with this, where, you start to think about something and then you start to think about the worst case scenario, or what if I fail here? What if this happens, that happens, blah, blah, blah. The nature of it is that it hasn't happened, right? These things haven't happened, but it's so easy to almost like walk your way into these scenarios because you continue to think about them. So like what I'm really trying to do is ask myself, what can I actually control out of the situation, right? And a lot of times it's going to be our effort. It's going to be our preparation. It's going to be, being a good person, being honest, whatever it may be. These are the things that we can control. And that's all you can do, right? I can't control the outcome in a lot of situations, but I can control if I prepare as good as possible for a test, or if I, put in my best effort, like my true best effort, my honest best effort, and I'm doing what I can to push forward. I can control if I'm authentic, right? If I'm being myself, if I'm putting myself out there, if I'm being honest and communicating and doing all these things. I can't control if I fail or not all the time, right? And so I think understanding that if you can control what you can, and then just kind of leave it up to whatever you believe in, that faith in, if that's a God, if that's the universe, if that's in anything else, then you're doing what you can, right? You can't beat yourself up about that. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. And you guess what? What was supposed to happen happened. And it's probably best. If it wasn't an ideal outcome or the outcome that you wanted, it was probably best, right? But you did your best. And all we can do is we can learn from that. And we can take the information we have and try to do even better the next time, or try to use it in a different area. So all that stuff, that's kind of one of the big things I'm working on. And then now my schedule has completely shifted, right? I'm working a 9 to 5-ish type job, a little bit different hours than maybe a normal 9 to 5. And it has been leading me to maybe not get as much sleep, right? It's been leading me to not have as much time for other things. It's been leading me to have to navigate the waters of food and nutrition in a little bit different way and make sure I'm staying hydrated and all of these different challenges that I haven't had to deal with for a while. So I've been making sure I'm prepping food and I'm keeping convenient options around, and I'm packing some snacks like beef jerky, like almonds. I'm keeping some protein bars in there. I'm, packing a few meals throughout the day to make sure that I'm getting enough food in, because I ran into a few days where I was like depriving myself and I could feel it. I just wasn't all there mentally. And so I wanted to just make sure that I'm able to be all there and to be in my best, putting my best foot forward every day at this job and doing these things. And another thing I wanted to talk about, so I'm going to be, over the course of this Thursday episode going forward, I'm just going to be continuing to talk about my life, how I'm navigating things. And, I think that a lot of you out there will be able to relate a little bit more with me potentially now that I am working a 9 to 5 and I am trying to juggle a lot of different things at the same time and still be in really good shape, right? And still get my workouts in and still, get my yoga in and still go on walks throughout the day and all of these things that we're trying to make sure we're still able to do while we are, killing it at this job, right? And while I am still crushing it with nutrition coaching and helping people move forward towards their goals, right? All of these things, and also the podcast, right? Making sure I'm still getting on here every week and you're seeing the Tuesday and Thursday episodes and you're learning from me and from Matt and we're helping you get a little bit closer to your goals, to that best version of yourself, to that optimized version of yourself. And so, but I wanted to talk about something, because this is something I've talked about a little bit. I talked about the kindness thing, right? That's like one of my big intentions for the day. But alongside that was just like, I wanted to, over the last period of my life, I wanted to stress that like honesty, right? Like not only the kindness with myself and with others, but complete honesty with myself and others. Because I know in the past, not that I've really been somebody who lied, right? Like I think I've been a pretty honest person, but maybe you would say like not always disclosing everything, right? Like especially with my feelings, with, maybe who I am down in my core, being authentic. I don't think I've always been like 100% upfront about that. And so that over the last 2-3 months has been something that has been like right up there with the intention of being kind and compassionate to myself and with others. Like I've never struggled with the kind and compassionate with others. I think I've been a good person. Like I feel like I've been a good person for my life and really been nice and kind to other people. It's just kind of flipping it back on myself, but also the honesty. I think that like a lot of times we try to put stuff past ourselves, right? It's like trying to, like maybe I can slip this one past me, right? Like it's not even possible. And so that has been at the forefront alongside that kind and compassion towards myself. And what I've noticed is now it's the default, right? I've gotten to the point of reminding myself every day for so long and acting in accordance with that now it's the default. And I'll actually pick it apart and like kind of be a little bit disgusted when I see people being grimy or being dishonest, because it's something that I really hold really, really high. And I think it's like having that integrity, right? Having that integrity and doing what you say you're going to do and being nice and kind and being transparent about things in your life. And, for me, talking more about how I'm feeling and kind of voicing that as opposed to maybe holding it in and just assuming or just like hoping that the other person can read between the blurry fucking lines that I'm giving them. Right. So that is the power there of a repetition of really like just continuing to help move yourself forward, right? Like remind yourself every day of what you are trying to work on, the person that you're trying to become, the honest, kind, compassionate person that you're trying to become. And after 2-3 months, however long it is, like it's going to be, eventually you're going to wake up one day and you're gonna be like, oh shit, like this is me. Like I am that person. Like I am following through on the plan. I'm executing, I'm doing this, right? It's easy now. It's not something I have to think about. And it feels good. It feels good to be able to wire that in. So I really wanted that for a long period of time. Like I've wanted to bring out the true version of myself, right? I've wanted to bring out that authentic version of myself. And I feel like it's a lot easier said than done sometimes, especially when, for me, I've lived a decent portion of my life trying to make sure I fit in, right? Trying to make sure that I looked good, that I looked cool, that, I was friends with the people that I wanted to be friends with. And in the end, like, I think I wasn't as authentic because of that. I was trying to like morph myself into what I thought other people wanted to see, like that I thought maybe potential partners wanted to see in me, the version they wanted to see, as opposed to just like, you know what, I'm going to lay it all out there. I'm going to be me. Like, I like to joke around. I like to fuck around. I like to crack jokes. I like to, play around with people a little bit, give little subtle jabs. And I like to have a good time. And now it's like, I'll just throw it out there. And if somebody likes it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And that's cool. That's cool. Not everybody has to like you. Not everybody has to like you. Honestly, not everybody's going to like you. Like, it's just that's the nature of life. And I think I'm really starting to hit my stride, and I'm excited for what 2024 has in store for me. I'm excited for what 2024 has in store for our podcast, and for you, the listener, the watcher, what it has in store for you. If you can take anything from this, it's that, it doesn't take too long to really make some big changes in your life. If you've been watching this for a while, you've seen some huge changes in me over the last few months. I'm sure there was some episodes where you look back a mere 5 to 10 episodes ago, and I'm a completely different version of myself. And so that just goes to show that change, it can be a lot closer to you than you think. That piece of cheese, it's just a matter of being repetitive with it. That's why I have, like, when I have things I want to change, I have 3 reminders on my phone throughout the day to remind myself of that change, to wire it in, and to make sure that I'm acting in accordance with it. Because the more you remind yourself, the more it becomes ingrained, and the more it's going to be that default. It's going to get closer to being that default mode for you. And so think about that. Like, who do you want to become this year? Who do you want to change into? What's a motto that you can use to remind yourself? What's an intention that you can use to remind yourself of that? It's like that. It's like, my intention for the day is, like, one of my intentions is to do the most kind, compassionate thing for myself in any moment. And that's not to say that I'm always successful in it, but like, the kind, compassionate thing is also to, if I'm not successful with that, to be kind and compassionate about it, to give myself grace and to do better the next time. And so hopefully that helps you. I appreciate you listening, watching the podcast every week. Matt appreciates you. Nick, our producer, appreciates you. And I hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your day, amazing rest of your week, month, and I'll be talking to you soon.